Recently I had to fire up this tank that you see here behind me to accommodate some new fish that I had just gotten in. And sometimes when you set up a brand new tank, there are issues, right? Apart from the things that we expect, like a little bit of cloudiness and things of this nature, you can have a die-off or fish that are in obvious stress after setting up a new tank. I didn't have a choice. I didn't have an established tank that I could quarantine these fish in, so I had to get a tank that was just laying around and get it going. And the way I did that, and the way I did it successfully without fish stress or die-off, was to take seeded filter media out of a filter. Now, what do I mean by that? I normally will keep sponges that go inside of my Expertmatic internal filters. I usually keep several of those sponges inside hang-on back filters. So they are growing a colony of beneficial bacteria. That's not the only place you can keep them. You can keep them inside of a sump. You can keep them inside the aquarium, tucked behind some decor. But I always have some sponges that I can pull and put inside of a filter and then inside of a new tank. And because of that, I was able to add this seeded media that already had that vital beneficial bacteria growing in it. And so the aquarium water could handle the waste produced by the fish. When you first start up a tank, the fish might look good for a day, but then as they start producing waste and the ammonia builds up, and there's nothing there to really consume that ammonia and bring it down close to zero, those fish are going to go into a lot of stress. They're going to clamp their fins. They're going to hang out at the bottom, and they're probably going to die, is what's going to happen. So you need to have bacteria. Now, some people can add bacteria from a bottle, something like I know Seachem makes products, and so does Fritz, Fritz Zyme and Seachem, I believe Stability. Products like that can add bacteria from a bottle. Those are good. Just be sure you add fish right away, or maybe sprinkle some food in the tank. Something's got to feed that bacteria, right? So the sooner you add fish after doing that, the better. And same thing with the sponge. You set up a tank, you put a sponge in there. The sooner you can add the fish, the sooner the bacteria living in that sponge can start to eat and grow and populate more of the aquarium. So don't add beneficial bacteria and then think you have to wait a week or a month. You don't. That's probably the worst thing you could do, because the bacteria will have no nutrients, no nutrition. The biggest mistake people will make when doing this is to add the sponge to a tank that hasn't had its water conditioned. You do need to make sure that the water has no chloramine, no chlorine, nothing in it. So add a little bit of Prime, Seachem Prime, a little bit of Fritz Complete, whatever you use to condition your water. Add that first, then go ahead and add your seeded media. Doesn't have to be an internal filter sponge. It can be sponges like the kind of sponges that you see on these aquarium co-op sponge filters. Those can be tucked into a hang-on back filter and then popped into a tank, like in a smaller application, right away. The internal filters are not right for every aquarium because they do push a lot of water. So in a small setup, like a little 5-gallon aquarium, like I use for my plecos, it's not going to work. So you need something. With a lot less flow. A sponge filter that just simply bubbles to the surface is probably the best option in your smaller aquariums. So you can tuck a couple of those into a sump or into the back of your tank or into a hang-on back filter, and you're ready to go. You can take a small tank, a small Tupperware container, anything, and you can make it instantly safe to add fish. And that I think is the best way. Seeded media is the best way to start up an aquarium. Second best, in my opinion, and these are my opinions, I'd love to hear your opinions below, but second best in my opinion is to use bacteria in a bottle. And when none of that is available, you can always go the old-fashioned way and do what's called a fish-in cycle. You can just slowly start to add fish to a conditioned tank, and gradually they'll produce ammonia and create a beneficial bacteria population. Sometimes a fish like a rugged, tough fish like a black skirt tetra, fish like that have been used in the past to get tanks going. Some people will drop a piece of shrimp into an aquarium, right? Some people will add ammonia to an aquarium and have that ammonia start to convert and feed and create a population of bacteria. So there are lots of ways to go, but my favorite is seeded bacteria from sponges that I've tucked away somewhere in the event that I need to set up a tank fast, okay? So share your thoughts and comments and tips below. We all learn from each other. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like some more of my best fish keeping tips, click on this playlist up here. There's a few hundred videos in that playlist. And if you want to subscribe, hit me in the mug up here and you'll be subscribed. Be sure to hit that notification bell and a thumbs up if you like the video. And that's it for me. I will see you next time, my friends. Thank you so much for watching.